August 2024 was a military coup. This is not the first time that there has been a military coup in Bangladesh. There have been 29 other occasions where the governments have been overthrown. And on each occasion that a government has been overthrown in Bangladesh, it is the Hindus of Bangladesh who have borne the brunt of the mayhem. I want to give you some official figures about the numbers of Hindus in Bangladesh. In 1941, Hindus comprised 28% of the population of Bangladesh. By 1951, after partition, their numbers were 22%. In 1974, after the creation of Bangladesh, their numbers went down to 13.5%. Today, Hindus comprise less than 8% of the population of Bangladesh. Where have they gone? They have either been converted, left the country, or they have been killed. This time around, it is nothing different. There is a change of government, and who are the prime victims of the attack? It is the Hindus of Bangladesh. I'm going to quote to you some official reports about what's been happening in Bangladesh. There's an organization called the Okya Parishad, a council of Hindu, Christian and Buddhist groups in Bangladesh. They reported that over a period of 4 days, between the 5th and 8th of August 2024, there were 205 separate attacks on Hindus across 52 districts of Bangladesh, over 4 days alone. On the 30th of August, the Bangladesh National Hindu Alliance provided evidence of attacks and threats against Hindus in 278 locations across 48 districts. There's a body called the Ain Salish Kendra, which is a Bangladeshi human rights organization that documents attacks on minorities. It estimates that over 3,600 attacks targeting Hindus have taken place in Bangladesh since 2013. Not only have Hindus been targeted as groups, individual Hindus have also been targeted. Recently, a Hindu policeman was singled out, killed, and hung upside down on a public street in Bangladesh. Nupur Sharma of India, who is in direct contact with local Bangladeshi Hindus, reported that she was informed that at least 30 women have been raped since the violence started. At least 70 Hindu teachers have been forced to resign, either by their students or Islamic elements. Most of them were principals, chancellors, vice-chancellors, heads of department, those holding high positions in the education system. Day after day, houses, temples, and businesses of Hindus are being attacked, looted, or burned down. What is taking place in Bangladesh is a pogrom against Hindus. Law and order is out of control. I've been told personally that many police stations have closed down. Police are not turning up to work because they are scared. There are hundreds of Hindus that went to the border with India trying to leave, but they were forced to go back. And what has been the international response to the Bangladesh crisis? The answer is that there has been no response. There is no all eyes on Bangladesh international outcry, is there? Is it because the victims are Hindus? 3 Australian MPs have spoken out about Bangladeshi Hindus. They are Julian Leeser from the Liberals, Andrew Charlton from Labor, and Jason Wood from the Liberals. I have not heard any other Australian MP speak out on this issue.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Jai Bhavani. Jai Shivaji. Jai Shivaji. Jai Bhavani.
Apparently, thank you. Hi all, namaste. Bruchim Habeim, Shalom. My name's Josh. I'm here representing the Queensland Jewish Collective and friends of the Brisbane Jewish community. The collective formed shortly after October the 7th to take political action. We are a political group to take political action against, shall we say, a certain type of radicalism which is really finding its home in the general community in Australia and unfortunately in Australian politics. Now, our attendance here today is not to make this, our attendance is not about Jewish issues or the situation in Israel at the moment, but it is apparent that our community and the Hindu community have exactly the same problem, and our problem has exactly the same roots. Something else we have in common is the way that our respective situations are covered by the media and by politicians. It's almost impossible to hear coverage which is accurate. Coverage is either so inaccurate it's worthless or is non-existent. Now, while one of the previous speakers mentioned that there were, I think, 3 politicians who had mentioned the Bangladesh situation, there's certainly been plenty of other politicians that have mentioned that situation but have supported the other side. They've spoken out against Hindus. It's very difficult to listen to. So, I think the message for me today is that it's really important that our communities stand together, because together we are stronger. We want you to know that we stand with you, we support you, and as they say in Hebrew, Biyachad nenatzeach, together we will win. Biyachad nenatzeach.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much.
Namaste everyone. Jai Shri Ram. Can everybody hear me? This may be a very small group that we have in terms of representing the diaspora of Hindus that we have in Queensland, but it is enough to have a starting, because no big thing starts unless small steps are taken. So today what we have done, and this is the second protest in a row in the city of Brisbane, and I have been in Australia for 20 years, and I can see the momentum that we are seeing in the last 1 year with the Hindu voices that we're hearing on the streets has never been before. So there's a change, and the change always starts small. So I'm happy to see that everybody over here who's come, thank you very much. May Lord Mahadev give us the wisdom to take it forward and have the courage to face what we have been put to face once again. Hindu genocide is nothing new. If one has to put, it is just something that doesn't get talked about, like the Jewish genocide or the other genocides. It is because the Hindus have never been given the voice in the international media or the international lobby, and it is high time that we break this silence. Because Hindu genocide is the biggest genocide of all the genocides that have ever happened in the world. If you look at the stats, and those are the official figures, if you go into hindugenocide.com or any of those official websites that have been speaking about Hindu genocide for a longest period of time, it is the most heinous thing to be quiet. It is the most heinous thing to be quiet about something so massive massive that's happened in the past. Because if you don't take an action of the crimes that have happened in the past, the crime is bound to repeat. And what we are seeing in Bangladesh is nothing but the repeat. And we don't want this repeat to happen or copy in other places, which is why we need to come together and raise a voice. The Hindu genocide is not just a minority issue in a place in isolation. One has to go into the history to understand what Hindus are in this area, in the region of Bharat and around. Bangladesh, which is now a separate country, but once a part of the big Bharat. So the history teaches us a lot, but we ignore the facts which are presented by history to us. So today, I request all of you, especially the women, to get yourself educated on the matter of Hindu genocide. Get informed. Being informed is empowering. Because if you're not informed, you don't know what to talk about. Today we have social media in our hands and we don't have to wait for our voices to be heard in the mainstream newspaper. If we are informed, the small steps like putting the information out there on social media would help. So my sincere request is to become informed of what's going on in Bangladesh, see it into the wider perspective of where it can impact you, your future generation, over here in Australia too. If it can happen in one part of the world, it can happen in another part of the world. So never see that you are immune because you are in a separate country. It is not affecting you. Hindus are Hindus. Hindus represent the biggest civilization, the oldest civilization. Put it into perspective. We are the only civilization which has survived through all the brutality that has been put through humanity. We are the oldest and the only surviving civilization. And now the attack is not on Hindu, but it is on civilization. And that civilization responsibility is on our shoulders as a generation. Whether we work in corporates, whether we work in government, whether we work as a trainee, whether we don't work, it doesn't matter. We have a voice. We don't have to be sitting in the parliament to have a voice. We don't have to be a political leader or to be a member of an association to have a voice. We have a voice. And what is happening to Hindu women and what has happened to Hindu women, whether it is in India, whether it is in Bangladesh, whether it is Afghanistan, whether it is a part of Africa, it is unacceptable. Because when you kill a woman, you kill a generation. When you kill a woman, you kill the shakti of that place. The energy of the place changes. And it is a karma that is bound to come bite you. So let us not stand silent. Let us not say Hindu women are separate. Hindu women are women first. And the atrocities of women would not be tolerated by the Australian citizens. The atrocities against the women will not be tolerated in any part of the land. So let us stand together for the Hindu women, for the Hindu cause, and let us start raising a voice wherever we are, in whatever capacity we are. So let this movement not stop or wait for another protest to be announced. So all of you over here, you may be 100 in number, but each one of you have the power of 1,000 today. Because Shiva always, Mahadev, Har Har Mahadev we say. Har Har Mahadev, the power of Mahadev is with each one of you who have sung that slogan. Stand for Dharma, stand for Hindu Dharma, stand for women, and say no to violence, say no to genocide. As a civilization, as a generation, we do not want to witness another genocide. We've had enough, and enough is enough. And Brisbane must listen to that. Enough is enough.
Jai Sri Ram. Yeah.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.